Welcome to another episode of Talk About Black. My name is Dawud Konate Ahulu. One of the questions that people who run these large corporations often ask is, well, why does it matter? Why don't we just get the best person for the job? Why always focus on getting diversity? First it's women, now it's people of color, black people. Like, really? What do you say to that?
So I think there are a number of things I'd say to that. So I think, first of all, diversity is important because actually being able to access the widest talent pool possible is good business. So if effectively all you're picking from is a narrow private school educated white, Oxford graduate, then effectively you are not tapping into the code breaker who was born in, some poor part of London. You're not getting into that wide talent pool. And it's also all about cognitive diversity. So that ability to be able to get people from, different backgrounds, to be able to put different experiences and into the mix. So I think diversity just makes good business sense. And then the final point in that is representation. So, we do talk quite a lot about cognitive diversity and making better decisions. But also, actually, if you're a black doctor, treating somebody with AIDS, for instance, you might be able to have some kind of, whether it be through common language or through common experience, just having that ability to tap into people with different backgrounds actually can make your customers, your clients, your patients just feel more comfortable. It's just logical, and I don't know why the system has been constructed to just be so narrow.
Yeah, the statistics definitely back that up.
Absolutely.
So I think the stat is that organisations that have more gender diversity actually perform 58% better than their counterparts without. So the research demonstrates that it makes good business sense to have diversity. And so tech is kind of what I focus on, and we know that sort of only 19% of the British UK tech workforce is female and only 15% are black. That's a problem. And it's a problem when you look into the fact that technology is being built that has the potential to change the complete future of our universe. And if there isn't diverse perspectives in the room, then we will get into trouble. For example, facial recognition systems that don't recognise black faces, or if you look into robotic assistants like Siri and Alexa, it's no coincidence that they are female voices. And the young generation at the moment, really young kids, don't know the difference between Alexa and a woman, and they're being taught that they can say things like, Alexa, stop, Alexa, do what I want, Alexa, give me something, and Alexa responds.
Absolutely.
And they can't make that distinction when they're that young. And why are soothing voices on the train, or Alexa or Siri women's voices? However, when it comes to alerting you of danger or telling you to mind the gap, they're male voices. Ask ourselves these questions about the ethical and kind of gender biases within the technology we're creating, and then we can actually make better products that address human needs and that make everyone feel more included. If we just have different perspectives in the room, it makes good business sense to be more diverse.
And it's interesting your point about facial recognition, because it's almost a security point. If you have a technological system that can only recognize white faces, then how is that going to protect you from just a wide variety of threats that you could have to your organization?
Yeah, or algorithms, Google's algorithms, where So I think with the American a system in America that actually uses AI to determine how long prison sentences should be, or something like that, and they actually found biases in it which give black people disproportionately large sentences based on past crimes and demographic information. And that bias is built within the system, but obviously technology isn't racist. It's the people that are building these systems that actually need to be held accountable for how they actually distinguish between male, female, LGBT, age, race. And if they're not doing that, because there's no one going, sorry, Tim.
Sorry, Tim. We're picking on the Tim, aren't we?
That's a very interesting point. Actually, I've been spending some time working with some offenders down in Swellside Prison, and some of these guys are doing some seriously long sentences. Young black guys, 22 years old, facing 30, 35 years, and there is a sense that they're doing very, very long sentences. Now, obviously, for crimes, you need to pay the price, but some of these sentences are incredibly long. A very interesting point you make there about the algorithms that decide. No idea whether that plays out in this mix or not. I suppose the final point that I've always thought about the importance of having someone who's black in senior places in the organization, of course, is that if you don't see anyone there who looks like you, then you immediately end up with this self-limiting belief that I'm never going to get there, because guess what? It's a snowy white peak that's never going to change. Why would I make it through the system? Well, you look up and you see someone who looks like a bit like you.
Yeah.
With 1, 2 people, suddenly you're like, well, if they did that, then I can do that.
Yeah. The amount of young men that said, I can be president one day after Obama came to power, young women and men, in a way that just would never, parents just slap it out of the head before they came to power.
I like your point when it comes to role models, because actually just bringing it closer to home. And if I think about role models, I think, well, actually for me, it would be my mother, who was a black woman who is a survivor, who worked incredibly hard and to achieve what she has. And I think just being able to point to someone, whether it be your mother, your auntie, your sister, just someone else that you can say, well, look at what they've done, look at how they've achieved it. That's really important. And I do worry, even for my daughter, yes, I can point to my mother for myself, but my mom's in Trinidad. Who can I point to here in society? Who can I tap into? So just getting the literature, as you said, with the book that you're talking about, or just having the media have better portrayal of black women is so important, because I genuinely believe that, we are taught racism. It's a societal construct. When my daughter, was just born, she knew nothing. She still knows nothing, because we almost deliberately avoid topic, because she's only 6, and we just don't want her to point to the kid in the playground and say, oh, it's that black kid. Actually, she just said, well, it's the kid with the polka dot dress and the green tights and the whatever, even if it's painfully obvious to us. And it's all about just everybody's different. Everything is different. And she just knows that, and that's because of how I've tried to raise her. But we just don't have that example of role models anywhere. Anyway.
Are you optimistic for the future, Bethel? You're 19. You're an undergrad. You're at Newcastle. Where are you in your head? How optimistic are you?
I think things are getting better, and I just wanted to quickly touch on the point about why you said diversity was important. I remember when the financial crisis happened, I was 9, so I had no idea about the mania that was going on around me. But when I was 17, for some reason, I don't know what it was, but I seemed to have this obsession with the financial crisis, because to me I was just thinking, how could a few characters cause something that was able to affect the world in such a disastrous way? And at that time, I was also studying accounting, so I really wanted to get into finance in that way. And I started researching, and a lot of these people that were in senior positions, like you said, tend to be the white men that graduated from Oxford, or maybe had a privileged life, and they all think the same way. So it's that idea of diversity of thought being really good for business, because if you have people that think the same way and differently, you're not going to make the same decisions, and we're not going to kind of repeat the things of the past that have happened. And so I think that's really important. And also what you're talking about, role models. I told you a story about 2 weeks ago. When I was 16, I was invited to some workshops with Goldman Sachs, and I had a brief idea about Goldman Sachs being this really large investment bank. And to me, it was this kind of community that I wouldn't be able to get into because of my gender, my race. However, there was a lady there, and she was an associate, and she was black, and just seeing her in that position really made me feel like, I can actually do this. I can be part of this community. It might take a little while for me to get there, or I might have struggles in front of me, but I could definitely do it.
But just seeing it,
just seeing her there.
And we all do it, when we go into the room, we're like,
it's the nod. It's the nod.
Yeah,
we have. It's just
immediately changes your
Absolutely.
kind of like.
Does it just changes?
If you're on edge, or you're a bit guarded, immediately kind of like dissipates.